In this town, like, you constantly have to, like, undermine yourself to appease other people. When people meet you out here, they kind of they either want to be so impressed by you, I suppose, that, like, they can't not include you, or find you so neutral that they can imprint on you whatever it is that they're already seeing.
What do you think are the assumptions that people make about you based on your appearance and your style?
It's funny, when I had longer hair, I think people thought I was more stupid. We tout women who have cut their hair off as being quite, like, bold or being really intelligent and not needing hair, which is just so stupid. I was doing this film and I was sharing a dressing room with my partner who was on the film with me, and the reason we're sharing a dressing room is because it would have saved them money. And this other actor joined the cast and saw that we were in this dressing room together, and then, like, sort of announced to, like, the cast and crew. He was like, "Where do I get one of those?" And I was like, "One of what? A person? Of me? I'm an individual, I'm not." And then the director was like, "Oh yeah, every dressing room comes with a pretty girl." But I wore high-waisted jeans to an audition once, and I then got a phone call from my manager being like, "Yeah, the director doesn't think you're sexy anymore. He thinks that you're just a mouthy girl next door," because I was wearing high-waisted jeans. I had to go on shopping trips with my manager. She threatened to burn all my clothes. I have to send her pictures of things that I'm wearing before I wear them sometimes. I kind of maybe foolishly felt like, I'm that good, it won't matter. It's evident, like, every time you walk into a casting session, there are all these beautiful girls. We all look exactly the same, or all variations on a theme. Everyone's so nice to each other. I must always stress that despite the competitiveness, I do feel that there is like a genuine tenderness in those rooms, because we all know what everyone else is going through. And so I started when I was 13, and then I guess because I never really knew anything else. As a woman, as a white woman, I can turn on the television, I can see my physical self represented, I can see many, many women like me, but the forms that I find them in are often, they're just so contrived, they're so sexualized. Some of the greatest female heroines have been born in the hearts and minds of men. That's my difficulty, is watching old white men write for young women, or write for any marginalized individual, because they just have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Is one of the big struggles, your ability to get a role that isn't typecast, like the pretty girl, like the pretty sexy girl or whatever.
Yeah, 99% of the time. But like, this is the thing as well, is that, like, you're so wary to say it, because I remember there was a time when Jessica Biel was like, I only ever get cast as a beautiful woman, and everyone was like, "Oh, go fuck yourself, it's so hard to be a beautiful woman." And so therefore I feel like, not because of that moment, because of moments like that and many others, a lot of women in the same position were like, "Well, I don't feel like I'm entitled to ask for anything more, because people are just going to think I'm arrogant." Yeah, people are going to think I'm arrogant, and they're going to be like, there are bigger problems in the world. And yeah, maybe, like, representation of women in film is not the most pressing issue, but it's part of a wider pool of oppression. It is a trickle-down effect from a systemic and structural issue that betrays all of us. At this point, I don't know what is informing what, if, like, entertainment is informing our culture, or if culture is informing entertainment. This idea about being, like, low maintenance, about being chill, about, like, being cool with anything, not standing up for yourself. I mean, I think that we've instilled that in young women just because just to make lives easier for the men who want to treat them horribly. But I think some people are genuinely fucking lazy, and they know that the quickest way...
It's just about money.
Yeah, the quickest way to make $1 is to, like, objectify, humiliate, and, mutilate women. We love doing that. We love defeating women. We like the women that we respect on film and television to resemble the men that we respect, or at least be attractive enough that we forgive them for not being that way.
What would you say is your biggest insecurity?
My biggest insecurity is that, like, I'm so neurotic that I can't be myself. I've been so concerned with not alienating people, offending people, that I've become quite fearful, I suppose, socially. It's silly though, because no one actually gives a fuck about you. You know what I mean? That's what I've been learning, is that people are so worried about how they seem and about how they're presenting, that nothing you're doing is going to be that effective. Anxiety is not a new concept, but it feels like a very privileged thing for me to be self-conscious about, like, do people like me? Do people not like me? How do I look today? It's like, that is a product of luxury.
And you were gonna go into physical insecurity.
I've had like struggles with acne my whole life. It's something that I've done pretty well to conceal for the most part. I've recently stopped taking Accutane, which is a toxic drug, which mercifully I've not had many effects from, and I've been fine, but it is like I am actively harming myself so that I can look good. And that is something that I struggle with because it is entirely contrary to what I claim to care about. I think my anger has definitely been the driving force behind a lot of my expression of activism. I just don't think I was around enough women who felt like they were able to speak up about the injustices that they were facing. You can only really combat injustice with passion. I don't think you can ever tell anybody from any marginalized group how to respond to their marginalization. And anger is something that it has been of course alienating quality in my life, but it has helped me get things done. In January of this year, I launched my website, herself.com. It's profiles combined with nude photography. And the nude photography is purely there to emphasize the diversity in the female figure, to empower young women to sort of find themselves through those images, because women's bodies are so often taken from them, objectified, sexualized, used to sell something. I do sometimes feel like I have imposter syndrome, like a lot of people do. I don't feel like I have an authority to speak about these issues. I dropped out of high school. I'm not well-versed in feminist theory. My only sort of tool is that I know what I think, I know what I feel, and I feel like I'm able to express it in a way that's accessible. The war that we're sort of fighting doesn't have a specific face, and if we can see the thing represented in a person that's in close proximity to us, we're like, well, it's that's the issue. It's this Victoria's Secret model, and it's her eating a Carl's Jr. burger on the beach, and it's her fucking fault. And we love to make women the sort of the bearers of that burden. And the world might be more available to those who are beautiful, but it's because of stipulations that weren't decided by her. People think that beauty opens doors, but it opens doors to cliff edges. I very recently, this agent at another agency that I used to be represented by somehow got my phone number and started texting me, and under the guise of having me work with one of his clients, which if it had been genuine, it would have come through my manager. So he was texting me, and I was like, how did you get my phone number? And he was like, oh, I got it from you while you were represented at UTA. And I was like, it's really funny because I haven't been represented by UTA for over 2 years, and I've only had this phone number for 3 months. So what it means is that he got my phone number from some sort of database that exists, and he abused his privilege and his power in order to harass me. And I know for a fact he's done it because I've met other women he's done it to. He's done it to several other women. And there's nothing we can do about it, because this man is he's the gatekeeper to these particular artists that we would love to work with in this world of opportunity. But because of his decision to sort of inflict himself on us like that, it means that we are now barred. And we didn't do anything fucking wrong. Only up until this year, I would go in the ocean fully clothed, because I was like, I'm not buying a bikini. I'm not fucking doing that to myself. I had this really long singlet that I wore for ages that I sort of just pretended was a fashion choice. I was like, yeah, I just love it. It's just so breezy. But it was actually because I didn't want anyone to see my body. In any other city, I think I would be at 10. You know what I mean? Because this city is it's a town of women who have been told that their value will be found in how taut their skin is, and how high their tits sit, how high their asses sit. I don't feel like I have dysmorphia of any kind. I feel like I know my body, and I know it in a way that isn't judgmental, but I know I don't look like Sports Illustrated, you know? I don't have a Sports Illustrated figure. It's not it's not too far off, but it's not that. And that margin of difference is quite significant here. It's hard to not absorb that imagery as being synonymous with that word, when that's get your beach body, you dumb bitch, get your beach body. That's what every magazine says. Right. Because the people that I always identify with are people who just look happy and look confident and don't look like they're really worried.
Last question.
Why in your body is it a good place to be?
I'm very lucky to be in my body, and it's a good place to be because it works pretty perfectly. It does exactly what I need it to do.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Wait, I'm taking pictures.
Oh, great.
We're not over. So how do you feel now?
Fine. I'll be interested to see what it looks like.
Are you worried about that?
Yes and no. I just, like, it happened. It's one of those things, like, letting go is part of my new process. I'm just gonna let it go.
Good.
Thank you so
You
much.
should. That was really great, though. It was amazing. It was very interesting. Very interesting, and it brought a lot of awareness to a lot of things.